Hello, it's been a long time since I did one of these videos. I think it's been close to 2 years. I don't know off the top of my head. Um, I kind of stopped doing these videos because I get to see you all the time now. I get to see you as much as I want, and I have less of a need to feel like I can talk to you through this. But as I have done some of these videos and am trying to leave you something of me in the case of, me not being there or just something to listen to. I decided I wanted to make this as another big thing is happening, at least for a short bit. Unfortunately, Mommy is having some mental health issues. Mommy is not doing too well right now, which is okay. She's going to get her some help. But it's going to mean you're going to come and live with me for the most part. You will still see your mother. You still have some visitation with her. You still get to see her a few days a week. But your mother is having some problems and needs somebody to help alleviate them. And I am happy to have you come and live with me for a while. Now we say this is going to be a 2-3 month thing. It could be longer. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how long it will last, but I have spent the last 12 hours, ever since I learned that we were going to do this, trying to figure out how to make it work. Scheduling babysitters, stuff like that. I'll be working for 40 hours a week out of the house, closer to 50 with travel time, so I got to make sure you have places to be. So Nona will still be watching you while Dad's at work for a good chunk of the day, from 11 until 5 o'clock at night. And then on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you're going to get picked up by Auntie Anna, and Auntie Anna's going to babysit you until Dad gets out of work, which is not till around 10:30, 11, so a good chunk of hours for her. But on Fridays, you will be with your mom the whole time. Your mom will pick you up from Nona's after she gets out of work, and then you get Friday evening, Saturday, and some of Sunday morning, and you'll come back here Sunday morning. It's going to be an interesting change, and I'm very excited to have it. I have been very excited for the last 12 hours. While I've also been a little stressed out trying to figure out how it's all going to work, I have been very excited to have you here. It's been a long time since I've done this. Maybe there's some more details in here I should throw in. So, last year, Grandma and Dad bought a camper, although it was mostly Grandma. Grandma just put Dad's name on the deed. Dad didn't actually pay for much of the ownership of it, though he is helping with the upkeep of it and all that. And we've gotten to go camping a few times at the trailer, and you absolutely love it. You've changed its name a few times now. I think we've been down 3 times now, and it's gone from Witch's Hut to Teeny House to M's House to, it's bounced around a few times already. And it's been so sweet to have you there. We get to go down. There's the beach. There's a zoo 20 minutes away, a very lovely zoo. There's playgrounds. There's a swimming pool if you decide not to swim in the water. They got a whole game house. You got to play with a bunch of other kids, which is awesome. You're also a few months away from starting daycare, which is exciting. We're still waiting to hear back from the enrollment situation of, figuring out where you go and to figure out how long you're there and stuff. Like, I don't know if this is a 3-hour or a 6-hour or, how long you'll be at the daycare. I'm not sure about that, but we're figuring that situation out. You are a bit slow on the potty training. We're getting there. We're getting there. Some of that is we need to be more firm with you about going to sit on the potty every hour or whatever. You need to speak up when you need to go potty. It's not just you. What else is there to talk about that's happened over the last few years? I mean, so much has happened, but it's all gone by in a blink of an eye. Obviously, the letter situation got resolved, although we did have an issue of a flare-up this past December. When we went for your regular testing, and you had a bit of a flare up and then got paranoid, and Dad rechecked his whole house and repainted everything and all the little dings and stuff, and then he started putting polyurethane on everything. So I'm sure you'll remember that there's a shiny gloss to all the wood at Dad's house, which covers and protects the lead paint on buried underneath it. So that's there. It's been very exciting. I guess it hasn't been 2 years. I guess it's been closer to a year and a half. I don't know. How old were you when the lead thing happened? Was that when you were? No, you were still 1. So yeah, about 2 years, because you're about to turn 4. I just want to say, Mommy's going to be okay. I know I started this with Mommy's not feeling well, but Mommy is going to be okay. It's just Mommy needs some help from her doctors, from her therapist. She needs a lot less stress in her life between, I don't know if it will stick or not, but Gampa and Nona have separated. Gampa made some unwise decisions with his money, and it was not the first time, and it's driven Nona to believe if you can't be reliable, you're not worth having around the house. And he took some risks with it that go beyond just the money. I agree with Nona's choice, but it's causing some stress in the house. Steve is making a good chunk of the money for the house, and now it's landing on your mom's shoulders to do, while also having the other stresses in her life that I won't go into detail with, because that's more personal for her, and this is more of a public forum. I don't really know what else to say here. I just wanted to give an update on this big new change and talk a little bit. I've said in the past I want to try to do these more regularly. I don't know how well that's going to happen, because, to be honest, I don't feel like I need it as much. Ever since I've had my split custody with you and got into visitation and got to spend time with you, and me and your mom have been cordial and talking well and been friendly, and I've been able to get you extra days here and there when I have time. Getting to see you grow up has been amazing, and I do not feel the need to leave something. I would rather you have the experiences of Dad playing with you and entertaining you than Dad recording you and talking to you 10 years in the future when you have the brain capacity to understand this conversation. I'd rather spend the time with you now. I'd rather you have the memories than just look back at the video recordings. So these have not been in the forefront of my mind. I haven't thought about doing one of these in a while. But I think during big updates, it's a good time to reach out and leave another update. I'm so excited to see you go to daycare. You had a bit of a hard moment in your young ages. You were born during the start of COVID, and the world, I don't know if I would quite say changed, but shifted perspective. During pre-COVID, there was a lot more, I don't know how to describe this. During COVID and during lockdown, most educated humans learned about germs, how to keep ourselves safe. The fact that we should have been doing some of these things long before Corona hit us so hard. Dad is lucky that nobody close to him has passed, but your great-grandmother did pass. Now, she had other underlying issues from COVID that did not make it any better for her. But your grandma had passed during the COVID, or during the start of COVID. But it's also left you as an isolationist child. You got to see Shayla, and now you're starting to see some of Kensley, and you got to see some of Maxo about a year ago, though you haven't seen him in a while. Anna stopped working for them. That's a different story. Um, but you didn't really get a whole lot of time to play with other kids. You kind of got Shayla, but I think there's a distinct difference from a sister or a cousin who you see with that's a family member rather than friends and family like at the playground. It's starting to loosen up a little bit, but it used to be when we would go out to the playground, the parents would be standing directly over their children, making sure that none of the children got too close to each other because they didn't want to spread germs back and forth, and constantly wiping things down with hand sanitizer and wiping you down with hand sanitizer, and wearing masks and all this. It used to be very isolationist to that point. It's starting to loosen back up that kids can play together. Kids get sick. It happens. It's part of building the immune system and growing up. So it's a process that's starting to open back up a bit. It's just about learning, what is acceptable, what isn't acceptable. How do we keep our kids safe while also, letting them grow up and be kids and develop said immune system. There are a lot of studies that are coming out right now that are showing the isolation effects having issues on kids of your generation because you didn't get exposed to the level of bacteria that would normally build up your immune system. You didn't get exposed to things like the common cold, the flu. When we kept out COVID, we kept out a good chunk of everything. It's led to your body not having been properly tested, and your immune system being ill-prepared for the next bacteria or virus or whatever illness. Though at camp did get to play, you're getting to play with some other kids, and it's nice to see that nowadays if we go to the playground, you are talking with other kids, and other kids are running up to you, and you guys are playing together. You're still a little antisocial. I'm not sure how long that's going to stick. I don't know if that's going to be a forever thing like Auntie Anna, or if you're going to bloom out to be more social as you get older. But you're starting to play with other kids, and you're at this age where if you don't get your way, you just decide to go play by yourself. You and a couple of the kids at camp down at the beach were building a river, a little stream up from the pond through the beach, and you were happily playing with them. And then at one point, you're 3 years old, so you don't know much better, but you accidentally step on a wall and nearly buckle the wall, and the kids, they don't get angry, but they're a little, they're, no, you can't do that. And you're all confused because you're 3 and you don't know better at this point in time. Dad, I come over and I explain, it's okay. Just don't step on the wall. You go around it. Don't hop over the river. It's not big enough for that, and you're too tiny. It's not sturdy enough to do that, and you're crushing it. And so you decided to pick up your cup, go 10, 15 feet down, and start building your own river, which you could step on the walls for, which was fine and adorable. Anyway, I love you. I wanted to give you this update. I will talk to you later. Bye.